team can run the ball really well. What do you see from them on tape that makes them so successful in doing that?
Oh man, number one, they're efficient. They got talent all over the freaking place. They're very well coached, and they do a great job of having answers to all the looks you give them. They do a great job with their physicality in the run game, and they're very, very versatile. So you can tell they have a very systematic approach to what they do, and they're really, really good. And the thing that always stands out to me is they have answers. I think part of coaching is being able to recognize something that could be problematic and then having an answer to fix it in the in-game situation, which is very impressive.
You say that, but they also have a quarterback who can throw it around.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what's the challenges of kind of living in both worlds with teams that are as effective as they are both in the air and on the ground?
For us, just number one, focusing on the things we know we need to do to have a chance to win the game, being disciplined, playing great with technique, straining every snap. And then when we identify something, whether it be formationally, whether it may be situationally, just making sure we execute the call that we've prepared for that moment. And if we do that, we've had a chance to be pretty good this year. So.
How do you think you guys responded with Dylan out last week?
Oh, I think the guys did really good, man. Every guy in that room has the ability to play multiple positions, and we do that for situations like that. When somebody goes down, you don't want to be strapped to just being able to do one thing with one person. So, all of those guys have the ability to do different things, whether it be third downs, first and second downs, in any situation we put them. So I thought they responded well.
Seems like Malachi's a guy who has a lot of that versatility, whether it's Will or Mike or third downs. What does that allow for you to do when the guy can touch
again, like I say, for me as a coach, you look at Kyle, you look at all those guys, JoJo, Luke, Krutz, all of those guys, GB, everybody that's played for us this year, just knowing that no matter what the situation is, we have somebody that can step in, and step in, and then it's my job to just make sure the situation they're stepping into matches their skill set. So you mentioned Malachi. He's done that a lot for us this year, did it last year, but we got a bunch of guys that can do that. So it's been really pleasing.
On Monday, Coach Bielema said that Grant Bierman's one of the best linebackers that he's recruited as a head coach. What did you see from him when he got his opportunity? And he's got 3 more games before he can burns his red shirts. Can we see some more of him, you think?
Yeah, and the biggest thing with GB is just continuing to bring him along. Like Coach has said, and I've said before, he's super talented, man. Like, he just has such a rare skill set when you look at his size, speed, athleticism, and he's still just a freaking baby. So just imagine that dude's going to be huge when he truly grows into a grown man. But, we're just going to keep bringing him along, keep developing him, and then making sure when he goes out there, it's in a situation that he can be successful. That's the biggest thing for me as a coach. He's a young guy, so putting him in situations where he can be successful to continue to develop every aspect of his game, physically and mentally.
What were the biggest challenges for him as he came into his freshman year that you look at and you feel, accomplished, some sense of accomplishment, the fact that now he's ready for game day?
I think the biggest thing with him and a lot of young guys is just developing a routine. I think he'll tell you himself, he really didn't know what that word meant, until he got here and had a chance to be around some guys and physically see it. So once he developed a routine that kind of carried over through spring, summer, fall camp now, that's been such a huge part of his growth.
What are you guys doing right? Consistently correct? Is it a lot of stuff?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we're doing right is as we look at what we do to prepare for an opponent, all of the situational things we do, and nothing's ever perfect, right?
Right, of course.
But for us, for now 3 games in a row, the situations that we've prepared for, the situations we put our players in to go out and have success, they've done that, on a consistent level. Is there just one specific thing? No. I think when you look at everything holistically, we've kind of stayed consistent with our execution up to this point in the season. Does it need to be better? Yes, absolutely. Right. But, it's been pleasing.
On the flip side, what are the biggest challenges? What are the things you look at and say, okay, we got to do this a little bit better?
For me, it's always defensively. Anytime you miss one tackle, you say you need to tackle better. But that's one thing that's big for me on defense is just continuing to tackle, continuing to make sure our football IQ situationally continues to grow. And then just whether it be, in the mornings, practice, post-practice, developing a routine with everything we do, whether it's recovery, whether it's nutrition, whether it's film study, just continuing to grow and build our routines.
I know you want to win the game, but a shutout, is that a bonus, or how do you view a shutout, the one you just got?
Anything, success in competitive athletics is just it's a grind in itself. But to have an opportunity to do it at a high level, whether you shut somebody out or just simply win a game, I celebrate it all. You know, I celebrate it all, and then just try to find the things that we can do to improve.
On the schedule, you face teams that play a variety of different offenses from week to week. How does it affect you guys, your preparation? You know, especially a big change from run-heavy team last week, a team that can throw it around a little bit this week.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and I wouldn't say it affects us, is we just have to have an awareness of how we need to prepare. You know, and I think that starts with us as coaches identifying what they do best on film and then putting a plan together to try to stop them. You know, identifying what they do to kind of keep the sticks moving and prevent them to be able to successfully keep the sticks moving. So I think just the preparation and being able to recognize this is what we need to do and then effectively communicate that to the players.
JoJo Hayden's breaking out a little bit. Is it a matter of just settling in at the position? He's bounced around between the two spots.
You know, and again, yes, you know, JoJo's super talented, super talented, high football IQ. Just continue to give him more snaps. As you can see, he can freaking run. He makes a lot of plays. He's going to continue to flash, and then just making sure that development and all of those things just continue to grow every week. You know, and he's done that. You know, he's done that. I'm super proud of him.
Holistically, for the defense, when you started your paper camp, did you see the ability there? Do you have enough in your mind going forward to be good, to be solid, to be where you want to be?
I saw it before camp.
Okay.
You know, and that's the thing. I saw it before camp. The thing for me as a coach, it wasn't what I saw. It was I knew what we had. What's my plan to make sure it grows and flourishes?
Gotcha.
That's what my mind was.
Sure. So you have a plan, but it didn't always work like that. Right?
Yeah. To me, being able to identify player skill sets and what they can and can't do, I think is probably one of the easier parts. But putting a plan together to where you see true development, that's the part that you have to really sit down and be very purposeful about.
This staff now pieced together pretty well, you know, a lot of consistency. How much does that help? To know, you know, you guys know each other.
Oh,
the
yeah.
defense side.
It's a big deal. You know, the thing I love, you know, when I think about my spot coaching the linebackers and just trying to figure out week in and week out how I can assist Coach Henry is I kind of know how he thinks. You know, as I'm looking at things, and if I want to present him with an idea, I already kind of know the ideas that I'm going to present him with. I'm trying to formulate something that I know is what he would want to see, versus just giving him something that would be a waste of his time. You know, so I think that continuity is huge, because you kind of, Coach Henry, you know, Coach Jameson, you know, Coach Parker, Coach Harris, Coach Panos, we all work so well together, and mentally we've learned each other.
When you have a head coach that's so defensive oriented, career-wise, I mean, he played on that side, does that help wise make it a little easier for you guys?
Oh yeah, and you know, the thing about Coach B is he's constantly pushing us to be better in ways that he sees that we may not see as coaches. And the way he can help grow you as a player, as a coach, things holistically as a program, I think it's second to none. You know, it's been, I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to be here, because he's made me better in the 2 seasons now than far beyond I could have ever imagined.
So, something's clicking on the recruiting trail too. Obviously, I know you can't talk about unsigned kids, but what are they seeing in your program that they like?
You know, I think the biggest thing is, number one, just you know, a genuine family aspect. I think when guys come on campus, I think one of the biggest selling points is our players. You know, we got some of the nicest facilities you can see. You know, we're competitive in every aspect. But when you get around our players, I think that's when you can see the difference. And then just the consistency in the way we recruit. You know, we're genuine. And then, of course, you know, having a product on the field that they want to be a part of, you know, that's pretty good too. So just continue to stay on that path.
Yeah, the winning helps a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks.